Hi, I'm Jennifer Kent, a Senior Director of Research with Parks Associates, and I'm so pleased to be here today with three leaders in the residential security and connected home, smart home automation space today to talk about the major shifts that we're seeing in this market, particularly as consumers, more and more are opting for new product offerings, trialing, showing interest in new business models, and we're going to get their take today. We're talking to representatives from NICE, from Abode, and from FIBARO, all of which are part of the NICE group. And so let's start today by having them introduce themselves and telling us a little bit about their companies and their brands. So Mark, why don't you start and tell us a little bit about NICE?
Thanks, Jennifer. Yeah, I'm super excited to be here. So, we're all happy to participate. My name is Mark Owen Burson. I've been in technology marketing for over 15 years. I joined the NICE group last summer in 2019, really because I have a passion for smart home and IoT. And I think NICE has just a broad portfolio of really great products and a lot of possibilities. In North America, I'm responsible for 3 unique brands, as well as the convergent strategy to build awareness, interest, and engagement for NICE, Abode, and high security. But globally, NICE Group also includes Alero and FIBARO brands in the portfolio. And just a quick background, NICE is a preeminent player in the smart home and building automation space, focused on simplifying everyday movements. And we do that by looking at day-to-day gestures and interactions, and then building products and services that seamlessly provide integration to improve the quality of life. So from a DIY smart security brand like Abode to professionally installed smart home systems such as FIBARO, we provide solutions that meet the vast needs of our customers. And we're continually looking for ways to connect our brands to ensure a seamless experience exists from the perimeter to inside the premises through simple integration, a wide portfolio, advanced electronics, all combined with the finest design aesthetics to deliver a full and complete system.
Awesome, Mark. Thanks so much for joining us today and joining this conversation and for that background on NICE. Let's hear a little bit about FIBARO. Kristian, tell us a little bit about yourself and your role at FIBARO and what that brand offers.
Yeah, hello everyone. Hi Jennifer. I'm super excited. Thanks for having us here. So I'm the part of FIBARO project from the actually very beginning, since company started in 2010 in the garage. So last 10 years, I've been responsible for some IoT integrations and a lot of telco strategic projects and alliances. But mostly currently, I'm responsible for new products introduction, delivery strategy, and also the new business delivery and development and the growth that it brings. And in fact, FIBARO is a part of the NICE group, and we are the leading Z-Wave solution, and we are providing complete customer experience with delivering both products, which are gateways and accessories. And our core business are custom installers and distributors. We are a global company selling in around 70 different markets, but also we are very, let's say, retail, online, DIY oriented in some of our fields, because the smaller part of our product portfolio is also Apple HomeKit enabled. So our specialty, in fact, are best-in-class micro modules and beautifully crafted multi-sensor with the Z-Wave technology on board. But in case of the NICE group, let's say part and being a part of the company's portfolio, we are responsible for linking the products together, giving more smart home experience and delivery, user-friendly but very powerful smart home solutions, because we believe that simple solutions still can be very powerful.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Well, thank you, Kristian, as well, for being here. And also we have Carney, who's going to tell us a little bit about Abode.
Yep. Hey, everyone. Again, thanks for having us. Great to participate in these types of discussions. So I was the founder of Abode back in 2014. Started my career with ADT and Tyco in the home security space. So I've been in the space for about 20 years now. Really kind of the genesis and the why Abode was created really was to kind of change the status quo in the space. Back when I started the company, there were, just a few companies in the kind of the DIY home security that really were making any impact. We had Protect America and Simply Safe really were the two players. And so we decided to join into the market and really try to change the game with creating a better user experience, more flexible plans, and the ability for customers to be able to consume, smart home products along with home security at a very affordable price. We created kind of an on-demand monitoring offering so people could have security in small bits of 3 and 7 days, even, as well as having, annual plans. Since then, we've now expanded, and really our push now is into video, and really trying to push video and world-class services along with that video in the coming months and years ahead. And we've made a lot of investments in that. We've been part of NICE portfolio since the middle of 2018. And, we've really been looking at expanding some of the markets outside the US with, we just launched in the UK with a security partner there, and also will be doing some business in Mexico, and also looking at Europe expansion for next year. So yeah, just very excited about the space, and, it's been a passion of mine as well. So yeah.
Great. Well, thanks for being here, and great to have all of you guys here to talk about what you're seeing in this market and how things are evolving. As you guys are well aware, security, peace of mind, safety have really been leading value propositions in the smart home space. And there's been 2 leading business models, one that follows the traditional security model with subsidized equipment and longer monitoring contracts, and then one that's more of a product first model where there's more of the purchase of the product up front and then maybe lower monitoring contracts. So Chris, back to you. Considering these different business model options, where are you seeing the most growth potential right now?
Yeah, so I'm looking at it a little biasly. I think there's definitely more growth in the DIY, and I think there's a lot of evidence of that. Obviously, some of it's been accelerated a little bit from the COVID situation, where you have some of the professional companies not being able to get into people's homes for the install. But since we started the company, one of our main goals was to really provide a very easy user experience. And I think some of that, along with the affordable plans, is actually helping expand the market. So providing more newer customers, younger customers to be able to consume home security products. And I think that's what's causing the growth. I think you'll see, and some of the research is showing that going back many years, there were back in past the last year and a half, there was kind of stagnant adoption of home security, monitored home security, in like the 24 to 25% range. And we've seen that expand now into the low to mid 30s for adoption. So more and more households are becoming more comfortable, and I think it's due to the DIY. And I think a lot of that growth is coming from that sector. And I see that moving forward as some of the bigger players are now even having those offerings themselves. And we also have added an offering for installation too, to try to capture some of the people that don't want to do it themselves. There's still a lot of people out there with busy schedules and don't want to deal with tech. So we have that offering as well.
Yeah, that's great. And let me pick up on that point and go to Kristian here. So from the smart home perspective, there's often 2 approaches as well, particularly when it comes to install, right? You have a business model that really requires professional installation or leans into professional installation and perhaps provides a more integrated experience or kind of custom solution for the home. And then there's really the DIY installation experience where there might be a point solution. It might be easy installation for the end user, but a fragmented experience in the home. Which one do you see as having the most, growth potential right now?
So yeah, sure. In fact, we are really putting a lot of effort to somehow combine those two worlds. So most likely, simple solution will grow faster currently because of those reasons that Chris said. The COVID situation, DIY market, also the huge business to customers, ATL campaigns, and manufacturers like Amazon or Google that are joining the race and really investing a lot. So this market is of course very important for professional providers like FIBARO, since those solutions are educating the market and drive customer demands in general. But we consider that it's good direction to follow both approaches, but to be specialized in one. So at the end of the day, at FIBARO, we are keeping two product lines. First line is dedicated for DIY, which is Apple HomeKit products. And those are like plug and play sensors, some accessories. And this is some part of our product portfolio and allows us to grow the business in some global projects and DIY retail chains. It also follows some telco projects where people are looking more for DIY solutions. The second options, and this is the path that we are following right now, and this is the approach where we are, let's say, using more like professional or what we call semi-professional channels. And this market is, in our opinion, more stable, and it has the biggest value for us because our solutions are designed for the installers and enabling and let's say it allows them to enabling full smart home potential and true ecosystem approach. So it gives the customer better experience. At the end of the day, we believe that for some of the application, there will always be the need for professional assistance. So there's also a third way that I wanted to tell about, and this is how to mix those channels. So right now we have very interesting European projects where we are trying to combine DIY retail chains with a professional installation approach, and these are very simple bundle packs that user can buy or customer can buy together with professional installation. So this is, so it can be either professional installation or it can be some kind of remote assistance. So this is for the COVID reality. So it allows us to, still provide better experience and having more advanced installation. In general, we are trying to mix both approaches by this path.
Mm-hmm. So from where you sit in the market, having both of these approaches, how important do you see it being for manufacturers to really integrate well with each other? Is that primarily a consideration on the DIY side, or is it really impactful on the professional install side, or with this bundled approach that you have?
So, in general, the integration is like super important for all of us. Still, it will be on the side of the gateway manufacturers in general, right? On us as a provider. So we are trying to keep all those products linked together. This is what we are also doing in the group internally. So right now we are during the time of developing the products for the NICE group that allows for Z-Wave integration, creating the all experience ecosystem, right? Because still we believe that user will not, look into very simple silo solution, but he will look into more like ecosystem approach.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, Mark, let me come to you. When customers are considering smart products for their home, what are the factors that are guiding consumers' choice between professional versus DIY type solutions? What factors are going into, what decisions they're making, and how is the DIY customer different from the professional pro channel type customer?
It's a great question. And really, I think the factors can be separated into 4 categories. You have functionality, connectivity, compatibility, and complexity. So obviously the starting point is looking at what the device is supposed to do or what you want the device to do. Something like a door sensor that detects whether the door is open or closed probably isn't going to require professional installation. But if you have a sensor that's designed to detect presence and then trigger an automation command to raise your blinds, turn on your lights, change the temperature, you're going to have more sensors and more components involved in devices that need to connect to each other, which is going to require more involvement than installing the product and then setting up through the app. And that leads into connectivity. How is the device going to connect to the gateway or other devices in order to perform these desired tasks? What are the protocols that are used for the devices to communicate and function within the system, which is then very closely related to compatibility. And the nuance being that with compatibility, consumers are thinking about things like, how do the devices connect to each other or the system out of the box? Do they require any sort of specialized setup to get them talking to each other or working together? And I really like to think of this as a continuum, more or less, which really makes complexity the primary driver. So systems like Abode are designed to be simple, easy to use, install, and connect, and highly compatible with third-party devices to meet the broad needs of the market. Whereas FIBARO is a professionally installed higher-end control system that's typically hardwired into the home, but also maintains some of the wireless connectivity to other devices in the gateway and the full system. So surely a savvy consumer could certainly install a FIBARO system, but there's a big difference between pairing a device by pushing a button and then getting into the wiring of your house.
Yeah, absolutely. So, Mark, this has been a big year of change, and this market itself is in the midst of a lot of change, right? And new product offerings, new business models. Kind of looking out to the future, going forward, do you expect to see more experimentation in business models, new lease loan type product models? What do you see kind of coming ahead in this kind of market on uncertainty right now? What do you see shaking out here?
Yeah, it's definitely an interesting time indeed. Extraordinary year for sure. But in terms of the business and how the evolution will occur, I think that we'll definitely start to see a convergence between traditional security and smart home to become generally what we refer to as smart security. And to me, that's really where the NICE Group and our associated brands thrive through our offering of a broad portfolio of smart home and building automation solutions. But if we're going to take a look at the model, let's dive deeper into a brand like Abode, which highlights the true evolution here. Fundamentally, Abode is a security brand with smart home capabilities integrated into the system. And if you look at the smart home devices that are out there, things like door sensors or other devices that already exist that will tell you about status changes like an opening and closing or motion that's detected by a camera. That's all part of the more passive self-monitoring experience. But then adding in the varying levels of access to history or managed and professional monitoring solutions, that's really what brings the old and the new together. And then you combine or add in things like the ability to develop custom integrations and then execute those commands through the system. And now you have a full and complete smart security solution. Generally speaking, however, businesses are definitely going to have to move more towards services. I think hardware sales will always exist, but they're going to become one of two things: either more commoditized or more specialized and integrated into a way that blends them more seamlessly into the home. And that's something that definitely both FIBARO and NICE do very well. But to summarize, there's definitely going to be a shift into full services and solutions and less of an emphasis on hardware.
Mark, Kristian, Chris, thank you guys for joining me today and for sharing your thoughts on some of the new models and product offerings in the residential security and home automation space, and for telling us a little bit more about the approaches that NICE and Abode and FIBARO are taking and how they fit into this larger market. We're continuing to dive into this really hot and interesting topic related to the DIY versus the pro approaches throughout the Connections US conference. So thank you all so much for joining us and continuing that great conversation.